Hey everyone, I am Kim with Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh my goodness, the Tarot Study Group continues and we are working with the Herbcrafters Tarot at the moment, and we are now looking at the courts. In today's video, we will be looking at what is traditionally known as the pages. The pages are about, these new endeavors, new beginnings after you've come to a certain point at the end of, with the tens. Now you're embarking on a new cycle. And so I love discussing the pages, and otherwise known in the Herbcrafters Tarot as the Hijas, the daughters. So if you want to delve more into this deliciously beautiful deck, stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So before we get started, I have to say that this was actually supposed to be a live stream. So if you all attempted to join me in the live, my apologies. It was like a little internet outage, and then my setup is all wrong, and I want to be able to give you guys an optimum experience when I'm showing you the cards. It's just easier for me and for you to see the cards on the table. And I am practicing and trying to figure out on this new beginning that I'm having, which is the pages, right? That's what I think of. I'm experiencing all levels of the pages right now in my life, personally, all elements. The page of swords, the page of pentacles, the page of wands, the page of cups, all of it. So it's challenging, and I have to kind of try to be flexible and go with the flow. So bear with me, my apologies. So before I switched angles, I wanted to say that I do intend to have the other courts be demonstrated through live stream, or at least where it's a dual camera situation, whether it's on video or live stream. But you'll know, I'll make sure I keep you all informed of what's coming up, and you always can watch it on the replay. And join me over at Facebook, because that's where I'm mostly active as it pertains to the Tarot Study Group, where we discuss the cards, the individual cards, or how we're using it, or questions we may have about the deck. Little activities, and we're creating activities, or I'm thinking of things to do for our next Tarot Study Group, which has just been recently announced, depending on when you watch this video. So make sure you all settled in. You have something to sip on as we go through the Hijas, or the pages, or the daughters, and I'll switch camera angles. Be right back. We are now switched. So I have laid out the pages. We have the Hijas up here from the Herbcrafters Tarot. We have the pages from the Smith-Waite Centennial deck, and then down here we have the Gaian Tarot, and they have Child is the change name for the pages. All right, so let's get started. I have divided everything up. We have the air suit, we have the fire, we have the water, and then we have the earth element. And I'm going to see if there's any way I can tighten it a little bit. Okay, well, I'll bring them up close so you can see it. So when you kind of look at the color palette, right, and you look at the Herbcrafters up here, you've got the air in catnip, the Hija of Iya. How does she say it? It's interesting. They pronounce, I got it right. The Hija of Fire, California Poppy. The cursive writing was throwing me off, actually. Sorry, guys. And then we have the Hija of Water, Chamomile. And then we have the Hija of Earth, Linden. And Interesting, they use catnip for the. I'm curious to see what the guidebook has to say about that choice. I know of catnip. I used to have a cat. My cat loved it. Little catnip bags. It was just intoxicating for him. It was super comical to watch the cat play with it and like get all, you could tell, just all high. I love that. And I know there's other medicinal properties with catnip, but I'm not sure of them. The California poppy is my native state's flower. It's quite beautiful. I love seeing a field of them. It's just so impactful. You feel so good, so uplifted, so inspired when you see the California poppy. Let me tell you, when you see a cluster of them, one is beautiful, of course, but when you see a whole cluster of them, as you see here, it's just really beautiful. I wonder what this orb here looks like. Maybe carnelia. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at the guidebook. And just looking here, you can kind of, this is an herb, of course, but the child of air, cooler tones, if you will. Let me zoom out. Cooler tones. Cooler tones. But then we start to warm things up with the wands or with the fire suit. With these beautiful poppies strewn about. There's looks like seed packs maybe, or pictures. I will look at the guidebook in a moment. And you've got that warm fire energy colors. So when you're reading cards, definitely you're pulling from information about what you know about the card meaning, sure. But you're also looking at the images. And in this case, with the Herbcrafters, you're thinking about why was this particular herb chosen if you're not familiar, right? If you're familiar, then you're knowing, okay, it has these properties. This is what reminds me of the elements of the Page of Wands. And the child of fire, youth-like. The pages are youth-like. They're childlike, young, So if you're thinking about a description of people, or if you're thinking about an energy, this is, a new kind of energy. This is a young person. And then with the water suit, it's chamomile. I think this is so cute. You have a child's hand helping with pouring the tea, and the older person's hand at one end being supportive, and a little child is helping to pour the chamomile tea in there, and you have little delicate, I'm assuming chamomile flowers there. Got a similar blue kind of flow here. I love that. Child of water. Let me see if I can get it close. Okay. So I'm just kind of taking you all through all of the cards, and then we're going to delve into them. We're going to go a little bit further in just a moment. So then we have the Hijas of Earth, Linden, lots of green, Page of Pentacles, green, Child of Earth. Oh, so cute. So cute. Cute. All right, so let's get started. So I just wanted to kind of look at all the different, hitting the tripod, all of the different pages we got on this table. I got our handy dandy guidebooks right here, and we're going to be consulting it from time to time in this video, just so you know. Now, the Hijas of Air, Page of Swords, Child of Air. When we're thinking about the pages, and we're thinking about specifically the Page of Air, we know that with the pages, this is about a youthful, childlike energy. It generally means new beginnings, right? Oftentimes news of new beginnings. New instance, we're talking about air, we're talking about the mind, we're talking about new ideas, maybe new planning that's happening, and being vigilant, being protective, Probably with the newness of this energy or the childlike energy, they don't have a tendency to think before they speak, and there's a need for that. So we've got the child, like the butterfly. If you're thinking about a child, you think, okay, they might be a curious one when we're looking at the page of air. They might be inquisitive and chatty. Also, this is about new beginnings and studious efforts, you know, being a studious or being a student, thinking, right? Learning, education, or knowledge pursuits. Also with the page of air, you know, I tend to think of air as like the air signs, and they're usually truthful. They speak up. They're direct, or beginning to feel their way into being direct. The knight is, and the queens is that embodiment of that energy. And yeah, sometimes it can be about petty gossip, just being petty when you see the Page of Swords. Oh, got them all mixed up. So I wanted to explore this catnip. And since we're focusing on one little suit here, one second, where are you? The daughters. So we've got this. So this is all four of these. This is the introduction to the Hijas, the daughters suit. And it says the Hija cards feature plants that are traditionally children's medicine but can safely be used by all. They are gentle and approachable. These remedies taste delicious and feel light in the body. They are easy and fun to grow. The herbs of the Hija cards lead to the Herbcrafter gently onto the path of herbal medicine. So they're little new beginnings, right, of exploring herbal medicine. And I, like I said, feel very much in this element right now. I can't wait because I'm going to have a little herb garden when we move. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm going to try to grow other things as well. But the herbs is where it's at. All right. They inspire her confidence in her abilities with their tried and true remedies. They invite her to explore through her senses with their delightful colors and textures. The Hijas correspond to pages in traditional tarot decks. They represent the curiosity and excitement we experience when beginning our craft. Children approach adventures with playfulness and little commitment to outcome. The Hijas call us to a time of wonder and awe. They are true teachers, reflecting the elements in their most pure and innocent expression. As guides, they offer the gift of playfulness. Now we're going to go into catnip. First key sentence, return to beginner's mind. Oh, I like that. Number 2, first thought, best thought. That's a good one. Number 3, make mischief with a sleeping cat. That's interesting. Okay, and so it says, I'm not going to read the description. Oh, there's a cute cat there. That's California Poppy. I'm just reading what's in the guidebook here, but for time's sake, I didn't want to go into every single detail. But it says the Hija of air invites everything to be her teacher. She observes the cat and playfully follows her into the catnip, and like they're just in heaven. Like this herb that grows wild through the garden, she lets the world around her inform the direction she takes. She approaches learning with the innocence of a child. She may revisit a well-known subject with the curiosity of a beginner. Just as catnip settles emotions with its refreshing medicine, she sets her feelings aside and communicates her observations and questions clearly. Crafting with the Hija of air. Try something new. Grow catnip in a window pot or garden. Number 2, perform a tea ritual with catnip before meditation to return to beginner's mind. And number 3, strengthen the psychic bond between you and your familiars. Craft a catnip mouse. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So that is the daughter of air, the Page of Swords. the child of air. And if we look at this little Gaian tarot here, this little young, she's young, but she's not like, I would say like she's 10, 11, okay? So she's not a little baby. Although over here, it's like a little, for sure, like a little, maybe 4 or 5-year-old child. Younger, certainly younger with the water. A little bit older with that child of fire. But then over here, I think she's like my daughter's age. So here's the journey through the Gaian Tarot. Similar format to the Herbcrafter's Tarot, how they divide it up, because Joanna Powell Colbert created the Gaian Tarot, but she was the artist for the Herbcrafters, Tarot. I always mention that because I just love the Gaian Tarot so freaking much. And just in case you're just coming to my channel and watching this first video, so now you know. My edition is the Llewellyn first edition. Now there's a, on Red Feather, Schiffer Red Feather, but yeah. So children, learning, wondering, and beginning. So there's the intro. The children correspond to pages in traditional decks. In readings, children are neophytes, students, or beginners in areas associated with their element. All right. Child of air. Okay. The child of air brings fresh insight to old situations in a lighthearted or whimsical way. Someone is very curious and may begin a new course of study or explore new points of view. This child is a sponge for soaking up new information. Her mind is sharp, alert, alive. She has discovered the secret of staying in the present moment, or perhaps it has discovered her. What I also like about the Herbcrafter's Tarot guidebook is it was like getting to the beginner mind. So it's letting you know as a reader that it's not really necessarily just referring to a child. It's about the stages in our life that we sometimes encounter, or it's a call to be in beginner mind, even with an old thing that we know really well. Maybe at work. Maybe you have been doing something for one way for so long now, you're about to do something new. It could be like what I'm doing, where I was living, had a home here, but now I've moved and now I'm kind of starting over. The tens, now we move to the energy of that new beginning with the quartz, with the pages. So I appreciate that. Okay, all right, moving along. We are going to the fire. So Hijas of fire, California poppy. We got the page of wands. We got the child of fire with the page of wands energy. I tend to think of good and swift news like will be coming quickly. New beginnings, obviously, and inspiration, new beginnings and new endeavors that have come as a result of, setting out. You had a goal, now you're setting out on and embarking on the next level of its manifestation in whatever element. But in this case, we're talking about the wands. So it's oftentimes when it comes up in a reading for me, it signals like letters, phone calls, text, emails. And when I think of it as a person, when I think of the page of wands as a person, I think of this person being cheerful, very active and playful, certainly optimistic and positive and charismatic, and very much confident on the extroverted side, and certainly fearless and bold, but at times can rush into things, like starting to touch fire when it's probably not a good idea to do so. But this is also about finding your passion. And sometimes you kind of have to go near the fire in order to do that, right? You got to, be initiated by fire. So let's look at that page. First key phrase here is create with the enthusiasm of a beginner. Number 2, boisterous play, then sweet sleep. Number 3, Light up the landscape with golden joy. I want to look at actually the description of the California poppy, the Hija of fire. Magical objects lie on a bright yellow table, a stuffed tiger, a glitter wand, a small cauldron, and a mortar and pestle. Pictures of poppy plants are scattered about like oracle cards. Yeah, little cards right there. Like oracle cards. Real flowers frame the edge of the table. A child wraps her dirt-stained fingers adorned with flashy jewels around an amber gazing ball. Cool. Cool. The Hija of fire jumps at the chance to be creative. She cannot wait to begin a new project. She approaches everything with the playfulness of a child. Knowing the strong elixir of California poppy creates magic. She takes small but confident steps towards independence. She may have watched an elder many times, but now she makes medicine for herself. Just as California poppy flowers light up dry, wild desert meadows with their brilliant color, she stays open to the light, sways with the wind, and radiates delight. Crafting with the Hija of fire. Number 1, craft varied dolls from poppy flowers to inspire enthusiasm. Number 2, spend time gathering California poppy in a wild meadow and craft a relaxing elixir. Ooh. Number 3, do a little guerrilla gardening with California poppy seeds. Sprinkle joy everywhere you go. Oh, that would be lovely. And so I love that my intuition was to remember and recall my poppy experience, and that's by enjoying its beautiful petals and seeing it in abundance on a hillside somewhere. And I'm now intrigued about this elixir that can be made. All right, let's move on to the Hija of water. Oh, before we move on, the child of fire from the Gaian tarot. Let's just see if there's anything in the guidebook that speaks to that. Hold on, guys. Child of fire. Oh, turn right to it. The child of fire laughs in delight at the flames of a campfire that dance and dazzle him. Humans have gazed into flames since the beginning of time, fascinated by the warmth, radiance, visions, and even danger the fire brings. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yet this is a wondrous discovery for each child who sees fire for the first time. Oh, it's true. His companion, the tabby cat, is as comfortable in the shadows as she is basking in the glow of the firelight. When you get this card in a reading, the child of fire is inspired and ready to make something happen. It's time to try something new. His enthusiasm makes him a joy to be around, and his eagerness to take chances is contagious. This person probably learns best by doing and thinking, why not go for it? There's a lot of laughter and playfulness coming into his life right now. I like that. I like that. And so in the shadow, it says, when you read the shadow side of this card, someone may be in too much of a hurry to start a new project. He could be impetuous and a bit reckless. He might consider slowing down a little or paying more attention to the details, and thinking things through before he rushes in. On the other hand, he may be too serious and need more playfulness in his life. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about. So hopefully this is helping those who like to hear about different decks, see, hear how they work with the particular cards, right? We looked at the majors, we looked at the tens just a week ago or so. We're looking at the pages. So it helps you with, formalizing your own meanings. So when these cards come up in your readings, you're like, oh, okay, this is how they move. How this particular, at least, the Herbcrafters, and compared to these other two. Okay, moving to the Hija of water now, chamomile. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go through what I, know and sense about the Page of Cups. Sorry, I'm covering up the little girl's little face. when I think of when this card comes up as it relates to, I mean, first of all, we know it's like new beginnings in love matters, you know, new relationships. It's happy news, messages, news of love, you know. It's, when I think of a person, I think of an idealist, a dreamer, someone who's sensitive, someone who's spiritual and psychic. And like I mentioned before, this is new beginnings in relationships. So it could be, you know, engagements, marriage engagements, pregnancies, actual marriage. It could be boyfriend and girlfriend coming together. It could be, if you're single, new beginnings, you know, in opening up to love and actually having an opportunity for love to walk through the door. It's just beautiful energy, artistic energy, birth, you know, pregnancies, like I mentioned before. And I love that the child is here because that's the toddler baby child. So that would be like, if I was working with the guy in tarot, that would be great when this card comes up, because I will say, oh yeah, I know what it's literally talking about. Chamomile is a gentle tea. I'll be honest, guys, I don't really like the taste of it. That could change. I've been drinking copious amounts of tea lately. Like, I cannot even tell you. I think it reminds me of home. So I've been drinking tons of tea, like several cups. I'm like, I'm hoping that's healthy. And I'm not messing up something with myself, but I'm telling you, it's several cups a day of my favorite teas. So anyways, I digress. All right, let's go to the guidebook. Here we go. First key sentence is return, refresh to a beginner's heart. Number 2, tender heart, big dreams. Number 3, calm your spirit with emotions when emotions run awry. Calm your spirit when emotions run awry. Yeah, because I would imagine a young person not being able to necessarily do that. You'll see this come up in readings if you're doing love readings for someone and you're like, you know, when you ask about this particular person, what's up with them, and then you get the Page of Cups, it's like, well, you know, they mean well, they're ready to begin love, but they're kind of clumsy at it. They're not knowing how to move yet in a relationship. But yeah. Okay. The Hija of Water embraces her feelings with the freedom of a child. When emotions overrun and overwhelm her, she reaches out for help. She remembers the many times she was given chamomile tea when she was sad. She knows the medicine she needs, though she may not be able to prepare it on her own. Just as chamomile's sweet scent calms anxiety and brightens the spirit, the child quiets her mind and gives herself permission to be playful with her heart. She embraces her dreams and often loses herself in imagination. That's another good meaning for the Page of Cups, imagination. Crafting with the Hija of Water, calm overwhelming emotions with gentle chamomile tea. I will give it a try. Number 2, soothe a headache after a big cry with a chamomile head compress. My apologies for the notification. I need to turn those off. Number 3, collect your dreams with chamomile as you harvest the flowers blossom by blossom. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm just going to touch upon this before we move on to the earth suit, or earth element, my goodness. Earth element. Child of water. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Sorry, oh my gosh, I need to pause this and see if I can turn it off. All right, but I'm not going to end this now. Okay. Turn the phone down. Forgot to do that. Oh my goodness. And it was like, the messages were going to keep coming. So I'm glad I turned it down. 2 is too many for all of us. Okay, so Child of Water. The child of water is tender-hearted and dreamy and has a rich imaginary life. She may be attracted to a new spiritual path or philosophy or drawn to a new art medium. She may be experiencing love for the first time. She needs to embrace her emotions, dreams, and imagination and let her heart be filled. Okay. Okay, that's beautiful. Now, let's move on to the earth element. Let me tell you, I am personally in the throes of really all of them for certain, though. The page of earth with, creating our new home, building our new home, and then trying to be in this new space, but it's, clunky, trying to figure it out. But I'm steadfast. I am going to persevere. I'm going to, just keep going, as the Page of Pentacles I know will do. The Page of Pentacles typically represents good news, especially surrounding like practical matters or earthly matters, good news around practical matters. Solid new beginnings, and emphasis on solid, right? Actually doing the goal setting. Being a grounded young person, when I think of a person related to this card, and that person is typically faithful, they're reliable, but they may be in an apprenticeship or some sort of vocational and educational training. And it also represents, embarking on a new beginning with a new healthy lifestyle. And this is also about new beginnings and laying down a strong foundation. So that's what I think of with the Page of Pentacles. Now, I get these ready here. Got the Herbcrafters. Go to their guidebook. Linden. Don't know much about it, so I'm going to have to really learn about it here. It says, return to a beginner's path is number 1 key sentence. Number 2 is lighthearted as a blossom, grounded as a sheltering tree. Number 3, be flexible as you build your future. And that's what I've been having to be, is flexible right now. And that helps. That definitely helps, say. Okay, it says a child weaves a wattle fence with linden branches around a small garden. It is a haphazard and uneven, but effective and useful. She has protected the sage that wants to jump beyond its own borders. A large linden tree stands nearby covered in cream-colored flowers. The Hija of Earth loves to take on new responsibilities. She approaches her duties with the earnestness of a child, proud to do her part. When faced with difficult work, she chooses reliable allies as companions. She knows that linden is more than just a lovely tea. Linden tea, that's right. Like the branches of this beloved tree, she is flexible, willing, and strong. She learns to protect her resources by surrounding them with what she loves. Just as linden flowers provide medicine of joyfulness, she takes on her task with a playful air, crafting with the Hija of Earth. Embrace ancient ways by learning to forage wild food. Harvest fresh linden leaves for salad. Number 2, learn to build a wattle fencing from young branches to protect a favorite plant in your garden. And number 3, be flexible with your plans. Stop to enjoy iced linden flower tea in the hot summer as you work. Okay, and look at this one. Oh. Just love that little face with the little apple. My goodness. Okay. And then we'll wrap this up since this went quite long, didn't it? All right. So, Child of Earth. I'm just going to read a couple of sentences. The Child of Earth is fascinated by the natural world and is learning new ways to connect with it. Perhaps he is learning to sit still at a secret spot and observe the changes from day to day and season to season. Or perhaps he's decided to grow his own food. Actually, my husband and I talked about that today. We've been talking about starting a garden for a while, but It just wasn't going to happen in the States. We certainly had a lot of space for it there, but we were so damn busy that wasn't going to happen. Now it can happen. And it says, or perhaps he's decided to grow his own food. He may be concerned with health issues and is starting a new way of eating or a new exercise program. Or he may be learning how to take care of his money and other resources responsibly. Yeah, all of that good stuff. So yeah, and like I said, I don't know too much about linden other than I have heard of linden tea, but yeah. You can kind of even look here at the color palette. It's pretty. Sorry for the glare. So there you have it, folks. The pages. The pages. The Hijas, the daughters, the children, the child. And this was fun. I love doing this exercise. And honestly, whether you have the Herbcrafter's Tarot or not, and I should have said this in the beginning, you can do this with any of your decks. Just kind of sit through, look at them, think about, maybe journal about your general meanings that you know and assign. Even if you're brand new to this, you know you can look at pictures and kind of get a feel for what it's trying to tell you and just go with it. That's the biggest part of learning tarot, is starting to trust what you know already, trust what's intuitively coming up, and certainly study so that way you have a lot of different things to pull from when you are doing a reading, right? That's just my little tip of the day. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with my little notifications. I send you all so much love, and I'll chat with you later. Stay tuned for the Adelitas, the nights. I can't wait to do that one, whether it's video or live. Bye, guys.